You know I want to keep it light. If you know me, you know I like to keep it fun. But before I do that in today's episode, I gotta talk about abortion, which is a crazy thing to say because I'm not in the market for one. I didn't just have a procedure done. What I'm trying to say is, if this shit show wasn't happening right now, I personally wouldn't have a reason to be thinking about abortion. But when you try and overturn a 50-year law out of the blue, I can't not talk about it. There are so many things you can say about America. So many things. But you simply cannot call us the land of the free when you're telling people that they don't have a say in their body autonomy. That is not freedom. And I know there are people out there who are pro-life who really, truly, at their core, think an abortion is killing an innocent baby. They've either been influenced by their surroundings their whole life, or they've been fed that narrative and no one has told them otherwise. And that's hard for someone like myself, or possibly someone like you listening. But there are people out there who are quiet, mum's the word, pro-lifers, and they're not picketing and being outwardly hateful. It's just ingrained in their thinking. They think it's baby murder. And if your blood is boiling right now, thinking that people like that exist, take a breath. It's frustrating. I'm frustrated too. But we have an opportunity here to be brave. We can hold our heads high and we can have real conversations if they are people in our everyday lives. They may never have had a friend as strong and as brave as you to tell them, hey, this is not a baby, okay? And being pro-choice is being pro-life. You're pro the woman with the body, making the decision that's going to affect her in some way forever. That's not going to make a difference in your life ever. A decision that carries a lot of gravity. I'm pro her life, just like I'd want her to be pro mine. These conversations aren't going to work with yelling and screaming and anger. Treat someone in your life who's pro-life gently and handle them with care, because at their core, fear is probably driving this position. If they're really sticking to that stance in 2022, when there is a wealth of knowledge at their fingertips, full of truth, they're probably operating from a place of fear. And they're not going to come out of the corner so we can show them, hey, actually, we're going this way. Okay, you coming? If they're scared to come out of the corner. Keep being strong, keep being patient with tough conversations. I'm going to, and I'm not really looking forward to it, but that's the work, everybody. One tough conversation is worth 1,000,000 quotes in our Instagram stories. And one last thing, how important is it for you to not have to ask for permission to take a shit when you really, really have to go? And then what if some gatekeeper said, no, you can't shit here? First, they'll come for our abortions. Next, you'll be crossing state lines to use a toilet in a stallless bathroom while The Price is Right plays on a community TV, okay? Wake up! Because this is all of our problem.
Time for
the
Rocket Run.
Welcome to the Rocky Rundown, where you get to learn a little bit about my week. Party God Squad, hello. Did you have a good week? I sure hope so. My week was chill, baby. I took it easy like a Sunday morning all week long. Life finally caught up to me. It's been go, 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 go. So this week I made a nice large to-do list for some things I wanted to get done around the house and personally, and I spent my evenings checking it twice like my name was Kris Kringle, bitch. But you have to, right? You can be the most adventurous, wild, fast-moving car, but you're still going to need to stop for a gas or a charge. But I have a story I can share from a couple weeks ago. I was, banging, which, be careful out there, my pussy having players. We're the government and you are about to lose your rights. The Supreme Court will just not stop playing with our uteruses. They're about to turn this prize stallion-ass pussy into a leg stay in the fuck clothes. Keep your regular-ass sperm away from fallopian tube lane. Oh, you can't come inside of me unless your dick shoots out debris. That's right, you better put that condom on. You are not Miracle-Gro, and you will not fertilize these eggs under his eye. Fuck out of here, Focus Powell. This bang hang was before the bad news broke, okay? So give me a break. There I was, nailing the dismount, and I hear pop, 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 pop. When did this man have time to put popcorn in the microwave? Was I so in the zone that I didn't notice that the dick done left the building? No, the popping was me. My hips were cracking like fireworks on the 4th of July. Let freedom ring, baby, because this Lady Liberty didn't give a fuck. At first I thought, come on, y'all. Y'all being my hips, of course. Please don't do me like this in mixed company. Then I remembered I'm not unique in this. People have been dealing with this since the dawn of time. It wasn't until a ferocious 28-year-old by the name of Shakira was brave enough to admit to the world in 2005 that she also was a victim of popcorn hip. Her hips don't lie, and bitch, neither do mine. So grab a bowl and some butter, boys. It's about to be movie night. I'll be honest, I'm a little weary about having sex. Like, I feel like the only men I want inside me right now are ones who know who their representatives are. You know? Just till things calm down. You can go down on me, though. What that mouth do? Good time to segue and shout out to my female-identifying listeners from ages 23 to 150. According to Spotify, I have female listenership in all age groups, and I love you for that. And everyone else listening, this is not your cue to turn me off. Keep listening. My hips crack when I bang. Those are wisdom bubbles exploding right inside your ears. I was hanging out with my parents and brother during Mother's Day, and I was telling them how fun my birthday party was. Well, actually, I was saying to my brother, tell them you had fun. Didn't you have fun? Wasn't it such a fun party? So naturally, we started discussing parties, and my dad starts talking about how he and my mom used to throw the wildest and the craziest parties ever. Oh, Rocky, we filled the place. People were partying in every room. Shit was bad. Bad meaning good. Please keep up. My mom, in her corner of the ring, disagrees. She claims how it would go down is she'd be chilling or sleeping, and then he would come home with a bunch of strangers, saying their spot was the after-hours spot, leave the strangers to party in their home, and then go back out, leaving my mother to host a party she did not agree to. She said, and I quote, "I'd have motherfuckers in every room drunk till 6 p.m. the next day, Howard." This is when I said to myself, I should be recording this conversation. I got the tail end, and the crash at the end is just my mom throwing a fork in the sink, signifying that the conversation was over.
And you go back out. That's not a party.
I don't ever remember leaving them there.
Well,
That's how high I was. Must have been my
So don't glamorize that shit.
Don't glamorize that shit, she says in her closing argument. 6 p.m. The 80s really hit different. Are we all doing our due diligence as tried and true members of the Party God Squad to get listeners in Rocket City, Alabama? Share the show with a loved one, baby. They might know someone there. Speaking of sharing, please check out the hilarious mockumentary web series, One Horse Town. Written, starring, and produced by friends of the pod, Lauren Brickman and Caitlin Bitsagai. Hosts of the podcast, We Stand Together. The episodes are about 4 minutes long, and they're absolutely hilarious. That brings us to Rocky's highest thoughts, my most stoned thoughts of the week. Number 1, and this one is just for us. At 8:30 in the morning, after I did the old roll over, hit the joint, roll back over, and go to sleep, I wrote this on a Post-it. You didn't come here to hear me talk about my nails, did you? Number 2, I know you want it. I know you want it. That's the little song I sing in my head when I'm thinking about men who can get reversible vasectomies for $25 with insurance. Now that's a bargain. Number 3, how many things have you remembered for the first time, but you're actually just forgetting that you've already remembered this, and it's your first time remembering it for the second time? Number 4, you can't make change without a little cash. And number 5, life feels a lot like a Jordan Peele movie right now. Both hilarious and terrifying all at the same time. My guest this week is comedian Cara Connors. Cara's wild word was scooter, but you better stay here, cause the story is outrageous, wild, and hilarious. Plus, Cara was a joy to talk to. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Wild Nights with Rocky, on Twitter at Wild Nights Pod. If you want to watch extended interviews with all of my guests, please subscribe to me on YouTube. If you'd like to support the show with your wallet, you can do just that by subscribing to my Patreon for $2 or $5 a month so I can bring you bigger and better content. A big thank you to anyone who's written a review on Apple Podcasts, and a big thank you to anyone who's going to write one after this episode is over. It really does make a difference. And now, please enjoy my Wild Nights conversation with Cara Connors. Cara, welcome. Thank you for doing the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to have you. And you know what? This might be kind of a busy time for you. I know you just came off tour, but it's also we either just finished your birthday or your birthday is creeping up.
That's right. Birthday just happened.
When?
April 23rd.
I'm the 29th.
Whoa, Taurus.
Okay. Did you do anything fun?
Yeah, that was my last show. I had my show at Dynasty Typewriter. I just casually planned it on the same day.
Yeah, just casual. No big deal. Happened to fall on the same day.
Just so I could guilt my friends into coming. It was like a promotional tactic.
Did a lot of them come?
Yeah.
Good. Where was that show at?
It was at Dynasty Typewriter in LA.
Okay. So that kind of like closed off the end of the tour.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brought you home.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And big rager afterwards.
Yeah, totally. And we shut the bar down because they kicked us out and told us that they were closing. They told you, hey guys, it's time for you to scoot. Get the hell
out of the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Cara's wild word was scooter. So I stretched it there. But Cara, I know I'm dying to hear your Wild Night story. The Party Got Squad is dying to hear your Wild Night story. Give us your Wild Night story, scooter.
Okay, that was honestly pretty slick. I wasn't even ready for that segue. Yeah. Okay, so I'm already like getting embarrassed talking about this. Okay, so
you're in a safe space. Don't you worry.
Thank you. I'm gonna take you back to a notoriously sort of bumpy time, and I think many people's lives. But it was the first year that I moved to LA.
Okay.
And basically, what happened kind of leading up to the wild night was 2 days before, and I don't really talk about this because it's so embarrassing and there's so much judgment that comes with it, but it honestly wasn't my fault.
Okay.
But I got in a bird scooter accident. I got like clipped by a little Tesla trying to turn. And at that time when I was living in LA, I didn't have a car. I only had, so I was walking everywhere and I was taking those little annoying bird scooters that everyone hates and they're super dangerous. And I got in this like really kind of bad, I promise that this is like, will be funny eventually, but I got in this like kind of bad accident and I basically like almost broke both of my arms. Like I couldn't use both of my arms for like several months after that, but they weren't officially
broken, but
they were not officially broken. Yeah. Like I like landed on my arms, broke like that. And then told, people were watching, I was like, please do not call an ambulance. Like I don't have health insurance. I went to an urgent care. The doctor was like, yeah, they're not broken. They're just badly sprained. And like, it's just going to hurt for a long time. And he basically was like, just take like 12 Advil a day for like 6 months. I was like, that sounds normal. So, but I was just looking really rough. Like this was leading up. So this was 2 days before, like, again, should have been in like 2 kind of like full casts, but I basically had like ace wrap bandages like wrapped around my elbows and wrists, but they were from like 8th grade basketball. Like,
I know the ones with the little silver things that clip them. But let me ask you this. I just want to take it back for a second. So you got clipped by a
Yeah.
Tesla, daytime,
Right.
nighttime.
Daytime, middle of
Daytime.
the day.
Did the
They drove
driver?
away.
Oh, they drove away. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
completely. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was like they were making a left turn and I was going straight. And then they just kind of like sped up, clipped the side, like really close to me, like trying to scoot by, like clip the side of the bike. And then I like go over the handlebars.
My
basically.
God. Oh my God. In broad daylight to drive away. Can you imagine?
Oh yeah. I mean, but it's a Tesla and anybody that drives a Tesla, sorry, like they're always the ones that I'm like, stop at the stop sign, like somebody is crossing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
like so it was pretty brutal. And I was obviously feeling like pretty bad. Like I was in a lot of pain and I just like had no money and was literally, I was using like old, like I had saved weird like braces and things from when I was in like a high school athlete and like had like an ankle brace that I was wearing like on my wrist. Like I just looked really like nasty.
Yeah.
And then and was just going around like couldn't do anything, was fully like Uncle Jesse in the like Full House episode where he got in the motorcycle accident. Like couldn't use my arm. My roommate was helping with everything. So anyway, where it brings me up to the wild night is that like 2 days after this, my first college roommate was in town from New York, visiting LA, and was with a bunch of people. And she was like, hey, we're going to this like hotel rooftop pool thing.
Yeah.
And a bunch of us, we're going to be hanging out. And I was like, I just got in this accident. Like, I don't know if I can go anywhere. And I was like, I have no money. Like, it was like $40 or something. Like, it wasn't a lot, but she was like, just come. Like, I'll pay for you. Just come. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have a good day. Like, this has been really terrible. And I show up to this like hotel pool in my like weird ace bandage wraps.
Your CVS wraps.
And like an old ass bathing suit that I like borrowed from my roommate and like a huge sombrero because I'm really pale. So I had like this big sun hat on.
Yeah.
And I showed up and then everybody saw me and they were like, what the fuck just happened? And so then people started buying me drinks, you know, and like they were being nice. And then my friend, like her cousins, she's like this big Irish family. They were all in the pool. And then they were like, I couldn't really do anything. They started just kind of like carrying me around in the pool. Like they were kind of mosh pitting me around. And so it was very fun. Like it was a very like
wet ass ace bandages dripping out of the pool.
Just so nasty. But like everyone was just like feeding me drinks, carrying me around, like treating me like I was a king when really I had just like been such a loser. And so somehow that attracted the attention of some of the ladies that were like not part of our group.
Okay.
That were hanging out at the pool. And again, like, I'm not judging anybody, but I'm like, why would you talk to me? Like, I literally looked so bad and just so
you're like that
scary.
character, but that is that's what's in movies, right? This ridiculous character. I'm just picturing like a Zach Galifianakis-esque character where you're like, oh my God, that's the person that we want to be around. So of course people want to be around you. That's crazy.
I was just like, I just had these like big buff, like, you know, like 21-year-old like Irish dudes just kind of palming me and like and I'm like not a girly girl at all, but I was like, hell yeah, dude. Like it was just so
that day you were
funny. Yeah. And like, obviously I think, you know, we were just like a big loud group, but it's this like kind of group of like ladies standing off to the side. They kind of tried to talk to me as one of my little like college guys was like carrying me to the edge. And I was just kind of out of it, like a little bit, like enjoying being with my friends, like in the sun, not really paying much attention to it, and like completely missed the cues probably for the first like hour or two that any of them were like trying to flirt with me at all. Like I just was not even thinking of that. And to be fair, I like typically don't ever think that that's what is happening.
Right. So you weren't going into that world anyway.
No.
Okay.
No, they were trying to talk to me and I'm like, I can't really talk. Like I just got in a scooter accident. Like just so weird. Like, why am I telling everyone? Like I literally sound just like a crazy person off the street. No, I just got hit by a car. Like, why are you here? Like clearly I should have been in a hospital.
Go home, Cara. Yeah.
There's no reason that I should have been anywhere except the hospital. Like if I had health insurance or like a family that like cared about me, like I would have been in a hospital. Like there was absolutely no, but we were doing the best that we could.
I was just gonna say, you got to do what you can with what you got, and you did.
Yeah, that's it. You know, my friends, they all chipped in. Everyone's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
But so yeah, we're chilling, and then eventually, I don't know, I was like laying somewhere in the pool floating, and the bartender comes over and brings me a drink on the tray. And I was like, okay. And they were like, yeah, that's from that person right over there. And it was one of the like women that I had been like, that I kind of brushed off like earlier, a few hours earlier. And I was like, that got my attention. Obviously I was like, oh, thank you. And kind of, you know, cause if it was like a guy that bought me a drink, I would have just been like, okay, like, don't follow me home. Yeah. But like, I was like, I have to acknowledge this. And like, so I was like, thank you. And then they like, I'm just laughing because it's so dark. Then they just like kind of swam over to me. I'm not exaggerating. I think someone was literally holding me at all times.
Oh,
like,
I believe
I
it.
couldn't swim. Like, would have dropped me, I would have actually drowned. So,
and you were dense probably at that point on account of the almost broken arms.
And in so much pain. And like, so I think my college roommate for the first conversation must have been physically holding me while this like first encounter happened. But yeah, the person like came over and like started like flirting with me, talking to me, all this stuff. I start telling them about the accident again, like a full crazy, like if you meet someone and the first thing they say to you is like, yeah, I just got hit by a car. Like, wouldn't you run away?
It kept going. It clipped me and kept going. Yeah. Classic Tesla. Yeah. Went to the urgent care. They said they're not broken. I said, well, I can't use them. So you tell me. Like, it was so... I got these ace bandages at home. They should be fine.
I don't know if it was reversed and someone started talking to me like that, I would have like grabbed my bag and like my brain would have thought like, I mean, we were in the pool, but like, I would have been like, oh, they're trying to distract me because their friend is over there, like stealing my stuff. Like that 100%. Is the energy I was giving off. Like, it was not okay, you know? And so, but they didn't seem to mind, like for whatever reason. I was like, okay. And, you know, I'm getting like more and more loose because I'm having some drinks. It's probably like working a little bit as like a, you know, probably like some pain relief, honestly.
Of course.
And,
yeah.
And I don't normally like drink a lot. And I was just like having some drinks. I'm in the sun, I'm talking, and I'm like, so then I think I start kind of forgetting like, like the state that I'm in. I'm like feeling good. And I'm like, wow, like, okay, like
no pain.
I must look pretty good. Like this hot girl is talking to me. She's buying me drinks. Like maybe I don't look as bad as I thought. Like I start convincing myself that like it's not that dire, but like it's the same situation. Just like drunk goggles. And yeah, so eventually my friends are leaving and they're like, okay, so you have to get out. Obviously, it's like when you're a kid and your parents are getting out of the pool, like, hey, you have to get out because you can't even be in the pool on your own. And I'm talking to the girl and then, basically I was like, yeah, so do you want to come back to my place? She's like, yeah, for sure. So I'm skipping over. I'm sure that there was hours of charming conversation. I don't think that there was that much, but I was just like, yeah, do you want to come back to my place? Sure. So we get into an Uber and I don't remember much of that, but we get into an Uber and we pull up to my place and so
she
now
puts you on her back, carries you into your house.
I know. Well, thankfully I can walk, but yeah, like, so we're going back into my place and like, that's when, I'm leaving out an important detail, which is that the accident happened like 2 or 3 days before I was going to be moving out of the apartment.
Excellent timing.
So it was like, like right at the end of my first year. So I had the apartment, I had like been living with my friend, like had a roommate and she had already moved out. Like she moved in with her boyfriend. So it was just me in the apartment. And 90% of the stuff was already gone because we were trying to like sell it and get rid of it. But as we like opened the front door to the apartment, that's when I remember kind of like all that stuff came back to me and like, okay, moving is fine. But like all that was in the apartment when you walked in was my mattress was on the floor in the living room because my roommate moved it there for me because I got in this accident and then she was leaving. So like, I couldn't even like get up into a bed. So literally I was like using the living room as like a hospital bed.
Yeah.
And so I opened this door with this person I'm about to hook up with. And I'm like, oh my God. And I remembered at that moment that it's going to look insane. Literally it's just a big mattress on the floor. And then like all this shit scattered around because I'm moving. And then all my weird, like Costco size, like bottle of like Advil and like all this stuff. And like, obviously like she could leave at any point, but I'm just like, how many red flags are there gonna be? Like,
you were the United Nations of red flags that day. Yeah.
I don't even know why someone would talk to me. So we get into my apartment. And this is the other part, maybe it was lost in the memory. I don't remember there being like a huge reaction to how terrifying the apartment looked.
Right.
So I feel like I just went with it, but like, I'm sure they've probably done a podcast episode about like, I like went to this like psycho's house, but
did they know you were moving?
I mean, I told them when we got there. I didn't tell them that before because it's just like already like so much detail like that. I'm going to be like, oh, and I'm moving in 2 days. And, like,
if you're free to help.
I know. So, we got back. We somehow like managed to hook up, but then like by that point it was like the alcohol kind of like anesthetic was sort of like wearing off, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't put like any weight on my arms. You also can't touch my arms or like really like be close to me.
Yeah.
So cool. Are you ready to like hook up? Like,
right. We can
don't
make
touch
out,
me.
and then you have to. Yeah.
I can like lay flat basically. But yeah, they were like very sweet about it, and we kind of had like a semi like mini like sloppy hookup, and then they ended up like staying the night because I think it was kind of late. And then the next morning woke up again. This was kind of like, this was a wilder, little period in my life. And then the next morning I woke up and I was like, oh shit, like I have to go get this U-Haul, but I don't know how I'm going to drive it because I can't use my arms. And so like a true angel, this random woman who owed me nothing and I'm sure was terrified on multiple levels, went with me to the U-Haul moving center the next morning and helped me get the van from the U-Haul center to the apartment, and then said goodbye.
Yeah.
And then that was it. But like, can you imagine?
I can't. I have, first of all, that was wild.
Yes.
And what a day. Oh my God, that was amazing, Cara. Thank you. I have to say, like, it just goes to show when you're a little bit down to clown and just say, I'm giving over. Yeah, my arms are not working, but I'm gonna put the sombrero on and have a good time. You never know where the day's gonna go.
You don't.
But I have a few questions. So first and foremost, I want to ask, what were you doing for work at the time?
I was like living off of like savings, like auditioning for like commercials. I was like,
so you didn't really need your
babysitting.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you kind of need your arms for everything. Yes. I was like, I'm
trying to see the bright side here.
I can't really think of a job. Yeah. I was doing like, but yeah, I mean, I can't remember if
it was like odd jobs.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Like in between auditions and stuff. But I mean, I just like quit whatever those things were for the time being. Yeah.
And I also want to say, the reason, I know you're like presenting red flag after red flag to this person, whatever, and we're laughing about it now, but you have to also understand, and I'm going to say this to you, Taurus to Taurus, it's an energy thing too. So even I think just being your authentic self and sharing your truth. Hey, I'm out at a bar. I got hit by a Tesla on a scooter. I'm in these ace bandages, but it's not as bad as it looks like because they're not broken. Like just being your authentic self is more endearing than pretending like you didn't get hit by a car and trying to be cool. And that's the energy they were probably attracted to.
Right. Yeah. There was no trying to be cool. Like you can't try to be cool in that situation.
You were being authentic. And so I think it was less red flaggy, even though when we're doing the retell of it's a bit like, okay, would I go back with this person? Probably not. But maybe if the energy is right. So it was probably a good energy thing.
Right. Yes. Thank you. That's very kind.
How did you deal with the U-Haul afterwards? So they left, but did someone else drive it for you?
Yeah. Then my friends, like I had kind of rallied like a bunch of my friends to come and help. Yeah. Because I couldn't even put deodorant on. Like it was not a good situation.
It was bad. Oh my God. I can't imagine. Yeah, that's awful. And just so glad that your arms weren't broken, because could you imagine?
Yeah.
They healed.
But no, they all came and helped me. And like I remember like we were kind of late, like getting the U-Hauls. Yeah. So like the 8 friends came and like they were all waiting for me like on the front lawn as I like pulled up in the U-Haul with this woman, and they were like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Yeah. She's like, "Hey," she's wearing your varsity jacket from high school.
I know. It was like they were like, "Okay." They're all like, "Hello," like. I like individually introduced her to all of my friends, and then she immediately leaves. I'm like, why did I introduce? Like, why am I so
That was
awkward?
It, right? You never saw her again.
No, I saw her again. Weirdly enough, yeah. But just like, on a not like on that,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, that's crazy. And I bet, did you have any more nights where you were like, after that night, did you say to yourself, okay, I'm just gonna lay low for a bit, get settled in my place, I'm not going out with the ace bandages, and kind of let yourself heal? Or were you still hitting the town?
No, I wish that I had done that, but no, I was absolutely still hitting the town. I was like, I mean, I guess this is not really an issue. I guess people don't care.
Well, you're an out and about person. So because you just came off tour too. And I wanted to ask you, was this the first tour that you've ever done?
Yeah, this is the first one.
Do you have a city that you were surprised by that you really liked?
I mean, I really liked almost every city that I went to. I don't know if I was surprised, but I really did love Austin a lot. Like it was, I mean, everyone told me I was going to love it. So it wasn't really like surprising, but I guess I was a little hesitant because I was scared to go to the South, but Austin was so fun.
Yeah.
And there's just like music everywhere. I got to ride a bull.
Oh, a real bull or mechanical?
Yeah, a real one. I joined the rodeo. No.
No, you should not be on bulls, Cara.
I know.
Not with those arms.
That was 4 years ago. Yeah. No, Austin, I think, because Austin, everybody's out, like you walk down the street, it's just like live music in every single bar. There's like food trucks every like 5 feet. Like everyone was just kind of out to have a good time. So I think that was one of my favorites. Yeah.
And had that been your first time there?
Yeah, that was my first time there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like a lot of comedians are going down there. What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah, I was just saying first time in Texas even. Yeah, a lot of comedians are. I mean, Joe Rogan. Yeah, a lot of the people, similar vibe to me and Joe Rogan.
I got that. I picked up on that.
Yeah, that's why I actually went down there to just see if like we could, just kind of strike up a friendship. Seems like we have a lot in common.
It was his bull that you rode.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a private party. Yeah, no, there's a ton of comedy in Austin though, which is really cool.
That's awesome. And also, so you get around. You studied in Second City in Toronto. What made you go to Toronto over Chicago?
Well, I grew up in Chicago, so I was had already like kind of experienced that. And then I mean, I think Canada just it is kind of this like sort of safe oasis and like sort of idealized place, like especially like living in the States now and like everything that's happening. So I think that,
very scary stuff.
Yeah. So I think just even like politically, it was like, okay, like Toronto just seems like this little utopia. And it kind of is, honestly, in a lot of ways. It's not perfect, but there's a lot of nice things about it. But so there's a second city up there as well.
And you studied there for a while? Was that before or after? I'm assuming you were studying improv and LA too, because you did Groundlings and all that. Right. Was it improv at Second City?
It was both. Yeah, I started with like stand up, and then I started doing the improv and like did the conservatory, and like so then that was all like sketch stuff, and I kind of just did everything. That
got your toes in everything. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And now for all that, you did all this improv training, you did all this sketch comedy training, you're obviously a great stand-up. All this led you to doing E's Dating No Filter. How was that? Was that like the most exciting thing ever?
I mean, that was like right when I moved to LA, and like it was like one of my very first auditions, and I didn't really know, you know, I obviously, like, every audition you pretty much just like go into, you try to do your best, and then I just try to forget about it, because 99% of the time you never hear anything again, and you like can't take it personally anyway.
Of course.
But yeah, that was a really exciting one, because I did hear something and I was like, holy shit. So I just got really, really lucky that it just kind of like clicked like right when I got there.
Yeah.
That was very exciting.
Probably super validating too.
Yeah, totally. Because but I think it was kind of like that same energy where I heard about that audition like super, super last minute, and like had to fly back for it. And I got there, and I think I was just like, all right, well, it's going to be what it's going to be. I'm just going to be myself and like do my best. And like, I can, you know, it's like, I think it served me, because I couldn't like over prepare for it. I just was like, all right, well, let's see
what happens.
I think that that's better, instead of like just being so intense and then you kind of like stop being yourself.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Now, I know this might be like, you might be like, just let me breathe, I just got back. But for the rest of the year, you just got off tour. What do you have on the horizon, or something that you're really looking forward to that's coming up?
Well, I'm going to be, I mean, I guess the timing of this will work out. I'm going to be announcing it in the next couple of days, but I'm going to go back on tour for the summer.
Oh my goodness.
Because I was inspired based on how everything has been developing politically, particularly in the Southern United States.
Yes.
And so I was inspired. So I was like, I think I want to take my gay little hour out to the South during Pride. So I'm going to go do some shows there, and then I'm going to go to Europe and do like a run of shows out there as well.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. So that's the thing I'm the most excited about, because I was going to stop after this LA show, and then I was like, I feel like I need to go kick up a little.
You do.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's exciting for sure. Yeah.
Good.
So I'll have like a full month at home.
Perfect, to relax. And then are you going to be doing the same tour that you just did, the same hour?
Yeah, exactly. Because I kind of did like a lap around sort of like all the coastal cities. And so now I'm going to kind of like hit a couple of kind of cities that like came up over and over as like, you got to come here. So
good.
So that's the plan. And then Europe is just like for fun, essentially.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll be work, but yeah.
That's awesome, Cara. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That is so cool. Well, if anybody is in the South and wants to check Cara out, or if you're in LA and you want to check Cara out, Cara, where can people follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm the most active, Cara Connors comedy. And then I have like a Twitter and all those things, but no one really follows me. So it's good because it keeps me humble. So yeah, I'm mainly on Instagram. That's where I keep up to date. Yeah.
Awesome. So follow Cara on Twitter. If you see Cara, no, you need your Twitter followers.
Okay.
No, follow Cara on Instagram. If you see Cara scootering down the street, just please be careful.
Please give me some space.
Give Cara space. Cara, this was really fun. This was awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for sharing your wild night story. And you and I will talk soon, okay?
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Bye.